Hey, let's go. All right, we are live. Welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group D, Brothers in Arms, Episode 8. Anybody who is watching, you'll notice we've got some new features on the... we have some new features on the stream. We've got a live campaign chat. I will be inviting people to the Discord later and posting links for that for anybody in the future who wants to join and talk to us. And then we've got some fancy other stuff. We're affiliated now with not Twitch, but other people. Yay, friends. Anyways, welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is... Wait, I already said that. I'm going over myself. When we last left this group off, yeah! Boy, what a session was it for you guys. You guys had just gotten back from Somar Villa, and you had gotten to Ardor. And meanwhile, while you were in Ardor, while you guys were out in Somar Villa, the prince issued a decree declaring war on pretty much the entire nobility of the country, saying if you're not with him, you're against him, and he was starting a campaign to unite the country. He called on the party to take oaths of loyalty to him. Father A went to speak with the prince and update him on the situation inside of Somar Villa. While Father A was speaking with him, an assassin unveiled herself and stabbed the prince through the chest. Father A then saw this happen. Meat ran after the assassin, then ran out of the room. Father A, alone with the prince, pulled out the sword and stabbed him again through the chest, ensuring he died, and then covered up the second stabbing to make it look like he was trying to save the prince. By the time help arrived, the prince was already very much dead. The castle went alight with chaos. People trying to find this assassin a second time. The party came to touch bases with Father A and saw that hey, I started the stream tonight and we are sans Derek. Anyways, the party saw that the castle was alive with chaos and everybody was running around like a chicken with their head cut off. The party got inside of the castle and started looking for Father A. Found Thalin, who was already there, and found out that the prince had been killed by an assassin. The party went to rendezvous with Father A. Knowing that the prince was dead, Bartholomew and Johann went to the prince's quarters, because if he was truly a follower of Gendenfell, it is a very secretive religion. And they knew that if there was a circle in town, they would be cleaning up after the prince, ensuring there were no traces to point back at them. So Father A and Johann went into the prince's room while the rest of the party went to the dungeon. Inside of the prince's room, they found out that a Kalkin member, long thought dead, named Lorraine Eyre, was alive and resurrected as a Terai and working for this cult. They got into a fight and they knocked out the cultist member that was there with Lorraine, and Lorraine informed them that she was resurrected against her will and that she doesn't know who's in charge of the cult, but she's trying to figure out who, and she is infiltrating them currently. With that, it seems the prince had a cursed book that she was there to destroy, that presumably somebody from Gendenfell gave to him. She destroyed the book and picked up her handler and left the room. Johann and Barty then went on to find the rest of the party. Father A, who was stuck in a cell at that time with Meat, got visited by the assassin who killed the magnate, and she claimed that she doesn't leave jobs half finished and was not going to leave any witnesses. Father A was nothing but open, honest, and kind to her, and she had really no reason to kill him. And Father A then gave her some information she did not know, and she repaid his favor with an act of sparing him in meat. And she left the dungeon as the rest of the party got to the dungeon and saw that Father A and Meat were trapped there, and that the rest of the guards were amassing on the north side of the keep, as it seems they had found an assassin, or who they thought to be the assassin. After that, the party left and went to... Oh, let's turn on some music, too. The party left and went to the Kelkin headquarters to relax after a long day of work, only to find Katrina was in council with a visitor who had just come to the office. So, we're going to pick up there. It was Johan, I believe, who stepped into Katrina's meeting.
Did I?
Well,
okay.
It was either Johan or Father, or it might have been Celebris that stepped into the meeting.
It wouldn't have been Father A. I tend to keep myself out of official business.
Yeah.
I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was Johan and Barty were going up.
Alrighty, here's how...
I really wish Taylor was here, because I don't remember if I was going to tell her that her girlfriend is you know, unalive or not.
What happened? What are we doing?
Well, I will be controlling Taylor's character, so, you know, you can consult with Barty as much as you want about that. But, this is how we'll pick it up. The members of the Kalkin within the party, Thalin, Celebris, Johan, and Bartholomew are going to... Johan's going to open the door to the office. The rest are going to be following him, eventually making their way up there. As you guys step into the meeting room with Katrina, let's go to factions. That's the one we want. Yeah, buddy. As you guys step into the meeting room, you are going to see... well, let's edit that. You are going to see Katrina talking to this clearly Alil Najian. Clearly, this Alil Najian girl. She is... she has bright green hair. And she is of a small figure, although she does seem to be sitting in a somewhat militaristic posture. In this large meeting room, there is the dark oak table in this room, and the hearth that lines up with the hearth from downstairs that goes through this room. It is directly behind Katrina's chair. Casting its light from Katrina's back onto the rest of the room, giving her kind of an intimidating posture. Katrina is sitting here with her hands folded, elbows on the table, and her chin resting on her fingertips. Or rather,
is she telling that girl to get into the robot? Things I need to know. Is she telling their little girl to get in the robot?
She is not. But their conversation stops as you step back in. And Johan is going to look, beat to hell in back.
Yeah, he really wants to go rest.
Yeah, and Bartholomew is going to look much better than Johan, as I think Barty only got hit once that combat, if he got hit at all.
Yeah.
Katrina's going to stand up and look at Barty and Johan and say, "What's going on? What were those spells about?"
Well, do we have a story for you? I guess we should start off with the Magic's dead. If you haven't received word yet. And, we could not find proof that he was, or we found proof that he was, part of that forbidden religion, but it got burned. What?
Alright. As you say that, Katrina is going to nod and look back to the girl in the room, and she is going to shake her head and say, "I'm sorry, Arcanist, but we can't protect you. I can't spare any more manpower. We have things on our table we need to take care of inside of Ardor before this place explodes." Does Johan want to say something?
Yeah, I turn to Katrina and go, who do you have audience with?
She's going to gesture to the girl and say, an Arcanist, Reyna and Gia Ori from Ilderon Tales, but what she's asking from us is too high of a charge. Reyna is going to stand up and say, "But they're going to kill me in this country. I just need to get back to Ilderon Tales." Katrina's going to look back to her and say, "We're not escorts. We're not bodyguards. We have a mission that we do. We position ourselves in the places to do that mission."
Quick question. Is the Eye of the Mountain or, what's her name, on the way to Ilderon Tales?
You wouldn't know what the Eye of the Mountain is doing. You do know that about 5,000 mountain wardens moved out of the mountains, and they're headed towards the capital.
Okay.
Like, they're going to be at the capital within 2 days at the maximum.
Okay. Is Ariana Kenfield on the way to Ilderon Tales?
No, she is not. She lives in the eastern part of the country.
Okay.
Oh, I can go to a map for you, and
we told her to stay in Somar Villa, though, didn't we?
yeah, you told her to stay in Somar Villa. She lives in Ariana Kenfield, who is the daughter of the magnate, lives in Kalu Village. You guys are in Ardor. This country right here is Ilderon Tales.
Yeah. So we are going in nowhere near the Ilderon Tales direction.
Why not?
That's Raina. Is that correct?
Reyna.
It is Reyna and Gia Ori.
I'm gonna
And
go
Gia Ori. And
I'll go
Gia
with Raina.
Ori.
That is the easiest one of the words to say. Miss Reyna.
Katrina addressed her as an arcanist.
That's another thing. Why would Katrina be willing to defend an Arcanist?
Are you asking her that?
Well...
I mean, that's something to, for you guys to consider.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I don't think Johan would ask questions about defending somebody. That seems to be exactly up his alley to do.
Miss Reyna, what are you doing here, and why are you convinced everyone wants to kill you?
She shakes her head and says, I was the arcanist to the general of that mercenary army before they attacked Hellenis in Ilderon Tales. Before this war broke out, I came to this country as a war refugee. Both the general and I fled the ranks.
So, who is going to kill you?
Well,
She gestures to seemingly nothing and says, "Arter Sarai, I'm an enemy. I'm a high-ranking enemy of an. I'm a high-ranking officer of an enemy army."
yeah. There's a lot of reasons to kill her.
If she's a war refugee, that means she was allowed in under the pretense of protection beforehand. Is that not true?
Well, no. She was allowed in because they didn't know her station. But, like, debating politics, I am perfectly willing to defend somebody. So long as, you know, they're not going to stab me in the back later.
Okay, so you're saying that to Reyna?
No, I was saying that to Celebris as a means of, look, I'm playing devil's advocate here, saying they have a perfectly legitimate excuse to kill her, and then I'm clarifying that I'm not going to turn her in because killing's bad.
Celebris is going to sit there for a moment, contemplating, then look up to everyone. Miss Reyna, if you wouldn't mind, could you wait downstairs with some of our other companions? We would like to talk to Katrina and see about getting some things straightened out. Is that okay with you, Katrina?
Katrina is going to nod and say, if you wait in the lobby, Sindel is trained to be a sentinel, but she works as a seeker. She can handle anyone who might try and raid this place for you.
We have some of our own personal friends who I trust with my life personally.
Reyna's going to nod, gather up her satchel and a couple books she had on the table, and a scroll, and tuck them all away, and then start heading out of the meeting room.
Did any of those books look important or valuable? Do I need to roll a perception check?
Yeah, that's going to be a perception check. I don't know what Johan's passive perception is.
Not very high, so I will roll it.
Mine is 16, if that helps.
7? I mean, what important stuff's written in books, man? The books,
fair enough.
Yeah, the books do look nice, by the way. But as far as, like, any specific information Johan can discern from them, you know, he just notices them on the table as her possessions as she's gathering them up.
Okay. Darn. I bet you there was something important there. As the door closes behind her, I will turn back to Katrina and go, we have some other important things to discuss about, aside from just the magnate's death.
Katrina is going to rub her hand over her face and say, no, I'm all ears. That just really got to me. Every foreigner who's ever made a bad decision thinks that this place is some sort of refuge for them. We just don't have the resources to help everybody, but we try.
Yeah. So
she sits back down in her seat and goes back to her listening position.
So, anyways, while we were in the keep after discovering that the magnate had passed, we decided to go look for evidence that he was tied to the Celebris. What was the name of that religion again?
Gendenfeld.
The Gendenfeld religion. And upon entering his study, we found followers of that religion, and one was somebody that we may have heard of before. As I turn to Barty, looking for the okay to speak about it, since this is, his problem, not ours. More his problem than ours.
Barty is going to Barty's going to look at Johan, and then back to Kaitrina, and say, well, there's no way to be entirely certain, but proceed.
All right. We discovered that I do not know her name. Bam, bam, bam. Because I'm bad at names.
Hold on, I've got you. In the Kelkin, under the deceased tab, you guys met Lorraine Air.
Cool. Lorraine Air seems to be breathing and unallied.
Say that one more time. Unallied?
Unallied.
Oh, unalive. Okay.
Like, as in undead.
Yeah.
So she's not alive. She is undead.
Silverus wouldn't know this name, would he?
No. This is a new name to Celebris. You guys have picked up that there has been a really big tension in the air, as far as ever since Barty returned, he got somebody pretty well liked by the Calkin killed. People don't like him for it. Nobody has spoken the name, though. Well, nobody's spoken it openly. Kaitrina is going to stand up and say, I've never met her before, but I heard stories. And she's gonna exhale and say, so did you rest her soul?
No. After we knocked out what I believe the person who resurrected her, after we knocked him unconscious, she spoke to us and said that she was currently trying to infiltrate the Gindenthal religion as part of her duties as a Kalkin, in order to discover their leader and get us information so that we can cut the head of the snake off at its source.
She is going to nod and say, look, this leadership thing is difficult for me. I'm new to it, and I'm trying to make the right decisions, but for now, don't tell Makana about this. This is going to send her into a fury, and I can barely keep a lid on her as is.
Very well. We'll keep this from her.
Yeah, she looks to Barty with a look of disappointment. Kaitrina once again opens her mouth to say something. No words coming to her mouth, and she just shakes her head and says, and finally she's gonna say, Johan, as you're teaching these new students, looking to Fallon and Celebris, and says, remember the chapter on what it says to do to Kalkin members who are used for necromancy.
It's not one that I like to. It's not one that I like to, enforce. It's not their fault.
She nods and says it's very hard to look a friend in the eye and have to do that, but for now, that's all I want to speak on this matter. When I have a definite answer on what to do, we'll address that further. So, the matinade is dead?
Yeah.
Woo! Celebration!
And the mountain wardens are on their way here. And as with the chain of command, I believe the Eye of the Mountain is next in line to take over.
She is gonna shake her head and say, no. The leader of the royal army holds the throne until the next magnate's elected.
Or in this instance, as we're aware of, his daughter would be the next technical proprietor of the seat.
Yep, we just need to get her to announce it and then come claim the seat and presumably have somebody to back up her claim.
The problem is they're probably going to be upon the city in the next day or so. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get to Somar Villa, get her, then get back here before the Mountain Wardens.
Katrina says, I'll send a hawk to Lady Nakart.
Alright. Also, in regards to the magnate's death, apparently the assassin that, when we talked to Nyla about, when she asked us to find, was the one that portrayed the assassination. Unbeknownst to her about the situation going on.
Katrina is going to look very flustered at that and say, so, wait, we knew the assassin was coming?
I mean, we knew as of probably, according to the timetables from Father A, 3 minutes before the assassination happened.
The note that was sent to Father Anderson, along with his oath blade, was a report about the assassin being in the castle.
Alright, I'm gonna roll Katrina a morality check.
Celebrus is going to look at her and just say, this is my fault that this slipped through the cracks this way.
Yeah, Katrina's going to stand up and say, no, this is a failing on all of us. This isn't going to do wonders for our reputation. But this is why we were born. When events like this happen, we just have to try better not to let this happen a second time.
I just feel like I'm as much to blame for this as anyone, if not more. Considering I took notice of the note, knowing full well that me and Anderson had put in for a request of information on this person. Didn't even think to look at it.
Katrina exhales and says, "You guys have had a rough day. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this tomorrow."
Brandon, can I ask a quick question out of character?
Yes.
Isn't Hellenus the city that sunk to the bottom of the ocean or whatever?
Nope, that was
that's Calcrest.
Yes.
Calcrest is you guys are the Calkin. The Calkin were formed because Calcrest was destroyed.
That's Makana's home. Hellenus is just another city that was burned to the ground recently.
Yeah.
But Hellenus was the one where the guy who was at the party showed up and busted in and was like, "I need to speak to Lady Nakart."
Yes.
Yes.
He is in charge of that city. Hellenus is the is where the Tolls family resides, which makes it the capital of the province of Dorage, which is a region of Ardersirai.
Well, still out of character, I know of one guy who would totally kill the person we have in our office right now.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. All right. So, moving, we're gonna shuffle just a little bit, and we'll come back to the we're going to come back to the party inside of the office. As all of this is, as you guys are having this discussion in the office, the rest of the party in the order house, as you guys are like settling down and waiting for your companions to come back with Katrina, and this is going to be Father A and Lance. That's it. Yeah. Father A, Lance, and Sindel are all in the main lobby of the order house. Sindel.
Is Meat with us?
Oh yeah, Meat is going to be there too. As you guys get in and the other party members go up to the top, Meat, still looking very frazzled, is gonna say, I know my role, just go sit in the dungeon and, try not to overhear the Calkin business.
Meat,
Snap my fingers like,
think of it with us,
yeah, that's your role. Get the fuck in there.
There are two kinds of people.
After today, Meat, you're in it just as much as the rest of us.
One person is like, yeah, you're alright. Other person's like, fuck you.
Well, one of us also, almost fought an assassin with her, so.
Hey, you know what? I'm 1 for 1 for magnates not dying on my watch. I'm in a good mood.
You are going to see Meet a little shaken still, and she's gonna nod, kind of just trying to force words out of her mouth and say, I just don't know what to do anymore. As you guys are having this conversation, what appears to be a young Ilderon girl walks down these stairs leading to the second floor of the Calkin office. She walks into the lobby. She has bright green hair, and she has a large leather satchel around her side that seems to be stuffed back with stuff, or with things. And
back with stuff.
Yeah, she's gonna look at everybody down here, who's kind of looking back at her, and walk up to Sindel, who is sitting at the desk, who was thumbing through a book as you guys were coming in. She's gonna walk up to Sindel and said, "Your liege said you could protect me." Sindel's gonna look side to side and nod. The girl also nods and then goes and sits in the lounge area in front of the hearth, saying nothing else.
So, green hair feels like a natural trait?
Oh, 110%.
That's actually boss.
I mean, it's cool. So, but my point is that like a trait that I could pinpoint, or is it just kind of like, well, that's weird?
No, yeah. If you can tell me what type of check you want to roll on it, I would tell you if you've ever seen anything like this. But it's not something that's just like, oh yeah, those people have green hair. Like, no.
Nature check.
Well, I was trying to think, is perception. That might be a nature check. I guess my point is I'm trying to figure out green hair is unnatural, so I guess I'm trying to figure out with me, is she she looks human, but that hair makes me go, well, wait a minute.
Father A could ask her.
I could. Instead of being weird and staring at her.
So hey, I can't help but notice you have green hair.
She pretty much expects it.
So yeah, so it's like, hey, you. What's with the green hair?
Hey you!
Hey you!
She looks up at it and says, "Oh God, is it green again?" Finally, taking notice of it, and says, "It was an experiment gone wrong, and I can't stop it when it does this." She stands up and bows and says, "I'm sorry." and pulls it back and fishes out a very weird-looking large brimmed hat, and places it on her head with much of her hair covered by the hat. While the bright green hair is less visible, signs of it still show under the hat.
Didn't mean it like that.
She still looks very ostentatious.
Brandon using them college words.
$20 word.
You know, sometimes you need to
He
have
just looked
good
that up.
I mean, she's still
articulation.
conspicuous, but maybe not like.
Rob using them $20 words.
I didn't fail English. So, what is so?
She
What
said
does it
it is
want?
from an experiment gone wrong. You ask her?
Yeah, because it's like experiment. A little nudge. It's like, are you from the universe?
Asparagus.
She is gonna shake her head and say, "No, I'm technically an arcanist, but by rank only."
It means she's supposed to be really smart.
and
Well, it means that she does magic.
yeah, gonna go on and say, "Oh, what I want is just to find my charge and get out of this God's forsaken nation." But he went off and got himself captured, and now I just have to find a way to survive.
Oh my god, I know who she's talking about.
Wasn't me this time.
Fucking Gale song. But it's like, well, who's your charge? And let's not talk about godforsaken language, countries there, Lilian.
God.
She's going to look towards the door and say he's a general, and he's a general of the Sun Yith, but he abandoned his position, and he's a turncoat in this nation, and there's no way they're going to release him from jail, and he barely got me out of there, so now I'm just trying to get back home, but I know when I get there I'm going to have another set of legal restrictions after me, and I don't know where to go. This is the only place in this nation that's friendly to me. Sindel is going to speak up and say neutral.
If I was down there, I'd also say neutral.
You can always go to Rion. I don't think they care.
Rehab? What?
She nods and says, "If I was an elf, I would love to live on those shores, but unfortunately." Oh, hey, wait a second.
Hi, how you doing?
I
She
know,
is an
right?
elf.
No, I never did roll up her official race.
It's gonna be hilarious if you get it.
Yeah. You're
If I was an elf, I'd love to go. You are an elf.
What do you know?
now she does have elven features. She does have, like the pointy ears and everything, but she does. She clearly, did not identify herself as a Dorai.
Was her daddy a half wolf? Was her daddy a wolf?
You don't happen to know the people in the woods, do you?
She's gonna shake her head and say, "Nope, never knew my parents."
Well,
Hey, I randomly got a new subscriber on my YouTube channel. I haven't done anything on YouTube.
my parents are dead, but then again, I'm old, so. So, okay, so your charge helped you out of jail or just out of getting caught?
She nods and says, "Out of getting caught."
Who'd you get caught by?
The world government.
Yeah, she's going to She's gonna put a hand up over her face and say, "Caught following him. He turned himself in a second time."
Who did he turn himself into?
The Royal Army.
So he's in jail.
She nods and says, "I was trying to stick by his side. He's a fighter unlike any you've ever seen before. So I figured without him, I wouldn't even be safe in this country. But
She means he's not half monk.
Hey, fuck you. And yeah, he's a fighter like I've never seen before. I haven't met a god.
I haven't in this campaign.
Or haven't.
I don't know if you guys have or haven't. I haven't been paying 100% attention to who I put in front of you."
This is why he needs supervision.
You've met the god of all gods, the one that created everyone. You just didn't know it.
They were like selling. She was selling ice cream. Fair.
Oh god, I forgot about that character.
Don't forget, I met a demigod because he was running a stall.
I witnessed this guy getting captured.
You witnessed this guy getting Roman witnessed this guy getting interrogated after he was captured.
Close enough. I mean, he escaped. So, pretty sure he did. But anyway, so it's like, okay, so he's in jail, or at least you think he's in jail.
She nods.
You want him out so you guys can leave?
She is going to shake her head and say, "No, he's an idiot, and he's not going to leave this country willingly. I just want somebody who can get me out of Arter Sarai, and once I'm out of Arter Sarai, then I'll worry about getting to the next place."
Well, wouldn't you know? Getting people out of order, Sarai, is my specialty.
Wait, which group are we with right now?
Group D.
Not that group. I mean, like, are we talking? Is the people that are like supposed to be role playing right now the people that were in the office, or is this like?
No, she
This is
came down.
downstairs.
Yeah, she came downstairs. This lady is sitting in the lobby with cramps and
I'm down
fire.
here. Happened.
Yeah, this is you.
I was thinking you're still upstairs.
That's why she's been responding to those comments you've been saying.
She's been responding to my comments.
Yeah, you said two things that I responded to. I don't remember what they were.
Oh, shit, I don't
remember anything.
I don't
say
even remember
words.
saying the comments.
Yeah, I say words, and then that thought is out of my head instantly. I forgot
Same
this
here.
character was inside your guys' campaign until I
Hold
just
on.
finished reviewing your session.
Yeah, I can probably get you out of the city. And out of the country.
I can honestly, I could help with that. I don't really care about this. Well, I care about this country, but right now how the government's being, I don't really care like how it's going. So I mean, I can.
But
I'll break more law. Who cares?
I will say that right now, you're probably the least of anybody in charge's concerns.
Yeah.
She's gonna nod and say, "I heard the magnate's dead. Again."
Yeah, sure is. But
Goes there.
should look at should look at Father. Is this? I'm awful with names. This is Father A next to me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I should look at Father A. Like, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Again. Holy shit! Is that a Grax attack?
Oh my god.
That is.
Hey, Tay Moods, what's up?
What's up?
Updating you on the situation so far.
You have
Everyone's
already
dead,
broken your
sorry.
promise.
Yeah. So you guys have updated Kytrina on everything that happened inside of the castle. Johan told her that Lorraine was still alive. Kytrina informed you it is the Kalkin's policy to kill sentinels who are resurrected and used for necromancy. You know, as Barty already knew because, you know, Makana told him to do it.
And then Barty say that he's not part of the Calcan anymore?
Yeah. Well, yeah, not officially part of the Calcan. You're still walking with them. Kaitrina told the party, don't tell Makana. We'll come to a decision on this later of what to do about her. And then, the person that Kaitrina was talking to in council is a small Ilderon girl by the name of Arcanist Reina Angia Ori. She has revealed that she is a refugee in this country, and she is trying to get out of this country as she believes there's a target on her head, and she is asking the country to protect her to the border. And Kaitrina said that she can't spare the manpower. And that's where we're at now.
Calcan. It's a good thing I'm not part of the Calcan. You're not part of the Calcan. I don't think.
I'm not.
I'm so confused with y'all's people's ties. Like, half y'all are in the part of the Calcan, half y'all
I serve the goddess of death. So as long as you don't want to die.
Hey! Okay.
Now, the other thing too is the Calcan don't really have symbols that denote them as like, oh man, you're dealing with a member of the Calcan. Their thing is open honesty all the time, you know, making deals in the light. So a member of the Calcan is always going to tell you, just like right out, they're a member of the Calcan. That said, on the flip side too, there's no real way to discern like who is or isn't a member because there's no uniform. They're a group of like really talented commando fighters. And with that, she is going to look at Father A, who is inside of the Calcan office, talking to her about this, and she's going to say, really? Nobody else from your organization's been willing to help me so far.
Well, that's because I'm not part of this organization.
Yeah,
so
we kind of do our own thing.
Got a little more flexibility in terms of what I'm willing to do.
It's like, hey, I want to kill that guy. Go ahead!
She is going to roll an insight check. And, by the way, this girl to Father A, looking at her, looks between 12 and 16. If she has...
I don't trust it.
Yeah.
I've been around long enough to know that people's faces lie.
Yeah.
That's jailbait's what that is. Get out of here.
Oh.
She should not have She should not have the rank of Arcanist. Arcanist, like, and this, you guys don't have to roll any check for this. Arcanist in this world is like a PhD. You know, like a doctorate. Like the most advanced doctorate you can get.
So either she's one of those child prodigies, or she looks a lot younger than she is.
Or a third possibility.
She's a shapeshifter. She's just doing this.
God, get him!
Anyways.
Yes,
or she could be a goddess.
Anyways, she said, she looks like, when I say, you know, like, small Ilderon girl, like, I use girl interchangeably with child. So...
But, I mean, yeah, you're stressing the point that this is a child, functionally.
It's a trap!
Yeah.
Like, if we were walking down the street, they'd be like, oh, what daughter you have, Father A? I'd be like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, in your case, it'd be
She's
granddaughter.
160.
At the mention of, oh yeah, I can get you out of here. Oh yeah, I'm not a member of the Calcan. No clue who you are. Never met you before. She's gonna say, really? All right, let's do it. She rolled a stranger danger check and failed.
Yay!
Well, I mean, it's gonna take a little more time than just get up and go. I mean, we got other people with us. That we
You
gotta
also
talk
have to apparently take advantage of this because I've officially entered real criminal territory.
I mean, we entered real criminal territory when we just said to a 12-year-old that we would take her out of the country, and she doesn't know who
I
we are. I think.
smuggled. Well, hold up. She looks 12. I've smuggled less.
Okay, there's a difference between a baby.
A joke we like to make a lot that I am a child kidnapper.
That's what I'm saying here. It's like
This is really my wheelhouse.
Now, is this conversation happening in character?
No, this
Yes.
is character.
Oh, was it? I was completely in character.
I consider that in character because I don't know how often we make that joke in character.
Mhm.
Oh, I was making that completely in character.
So, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, to let you know, this is not a snap my fingers and get you on a boat kind of deal. I need to, you know, you need time.
That and boat might not be the safest way. We might have to track through the woods, which I mean I can do, but that's an asshole.
Mm. But you know, like yeah, I know who I can, like, I know who to like ask. I know what the, you know, so I can get things. I can grease, you know, grease wheels. That's a saying.
What's a wheel?
There's
Yeah.
characters. Wheels have been invented.
Yeah.
at this point.
Alright, so we're gonna hop back up to the rest of the party in the room. Katrina has risen out of her chair at the, you know, at the talk of Kadam killing the prince. And to the fire, she's going to say, alright, we failed the magnate, but we're not gonna fail a second time. As much as it pains me to do this, she grumbles, and she says, I'll protect that girl downstairs. I'll take her as my own ward.
I was
Just having
gonna
information and not acting on it will not become a mistake we'll ever repeat.
Question.
I was going to say, Katrina. But go ahead, Johan. You first.
Oh. We need to make sure she's not going to, like, backstab us and run away before we allow her to be under our command or under our protection.
Yeah.
Watch, protection. Yeah. She is an enemy of this country, and she really doesn't know who she can count on right now. She might consider everybody hostile.
Katrina is going to laugh, gesturing to the oath blade she still has at her chair, and say, "We're enemies of this country."
Fair point. Never mind. Continue on.
I was going to say, you know, considering your hands are so full with running everything here, and, you know, now the potential threat of a massive war breaking out in the city, it might be more beneficial if she stays with us, since we're constantly on the move as it is. We can keep an eye on her that way as well. There's more of us to keep an eye on her than would be here.
Katrina nods and says, if you think, or rather, if you don't think she'll slow you down, then you're allowed to. But the Kelkin office itself is warded, so working with inside these walls, I'm a force to be reckoned with.
I'm also going to turn to Celebris and whisper, "She's not a tank.
Mhm.
We don't need her.
Neither is Purdy.
But he can make us tankier."
That's true.
Neither is Lance.
Let's think of it this way. If she is...
We don't like Lance.
Fucking thing.
If she is an arch arcanist, she might be beneficial if we do find ourselves in a situation where me punching something isn't the best strategy.
Katrina shakes her head and says, "No, I haven't been able to pin it down yet what her deal is, but I don't think she's an arcanist. I think she just said that to try and get respect, but she's There's no way she could have a Peldith in anything at her age.
Refer to Group B of Jessica.
I will admit, she does look rather young, but... Johan, could you detect undead, see if she's a Terrai? She wouldn't age if she was.
I mean, I can. I can do it right now. Brandon, do I detect an undead within these walls?
I think 5 inches of wood negates your ability to do it. You have to be in the same room with them.
Darn it.
So that might be
yes, it's Barney, run!
Son of a bitch, son of a bitch, son of a bitch.
Barney didn't move that explosion, no!
Not that I don't trust your instincts on this, Katrina, but just saying, we deal with, to be blunt, crazy shit every day. Someone finding a way to mask or alter or even stop their aging doesn't seem that implausible to me.
I mean, we know a few shapeshifters.
Yeah.
We know less shapeshifters now.
We know of one that just killed a magnate.
Kytrina's gonna point her finger like in a congratulatory way and say, "Keep that discerning eye. You'll make a good sentinel someday." She walks to the door of the room and says, "Alright, I'm gonna tell the girl she can stay."
Alright.
We
will follow.
About the mountain words. About that.
We can go to them and say that the old king is dead.
That might cause more issues because one of them might try to usurp the throne at that point.
Well, their entire reasoning for attacking is because of his way of battle is really bad.
His person. Just say his personality.
His combat prowess is not up to snuff.
Kytrina is going to look back at you guys as you're leaving the room and say, "This is why I didn't take that. This is why I didn't accept the position of nobility when the prince offered it. I'm not smart enough to engage in these politic things."
Neither am I.
She says, "Finding magical disturbances and destroying them, I'm good at that."
Brandon, in character, do we know what chantries have selected their representatives for the council yet?
Yes. You guys know the Chantry of Harmony selected Lethalia, and she passed it to Anadelia, and their selection is on hold while they debate on it. Then the Chantry of Concordance selected Typhus Seasons, and he accepted. The Chantry of Discipline and the Chantry of Unity have not publicly, or rather, you guys don't know if they publicly selected any candidates.
Okay.
Syllabus is going to look to Kytrina. Kytrina, in regards to the current situation, speaking of which, of the politics of this going on, I want to try something, but I'm going to need to take just me and Lance, so I'm asking your permission to step out with just him for this. She's gonna
look at you and say, "The evening is yours. You guys have already done enough, and Lance isn't one of my sentinels, so I don't care. I literally don't care what he does."
Well, I figured that much, but more or less it's permission for me to step out while we're kind of, on the brink of war, and the shit has hit the fan 7 times to the 5th day by now.
She's going to nod and say, "Just if the order house comes under attack, just know I'll need you here to defend it.
Alright, and just know that there might be a chance that, and I hate to say it this way, I might end up back in jail. I'm not planning, don't worry, I won't even take a weapon with me. I'm not planning on us starting a fight.
Kytrina is going to dig on Celebrus's person, like stopping at the stairs, pull out his handbook and go to the very first page of the Kelkin manual that says follow the laws of the nation you're in when applicable.
Yeah, I'm not planning on starting a fight, don't worry.
When applicable.
I have to,
subclause...
I have to fight some of my own demons from my past.
Yeah. Subclause B says if the leader, or rather the maker of said laws, is conjuring demons, kill maker of laws. And... no, I'm kidding. But anyways, the rest of the party is going to, or rather, I'm sorry, Lance and Father A are going to see the rest of the party walking down the stairs, joined by Kytrina.
As I see, I want to use my divine sense as I walk into the room.
Alrighty. You do not detect any undead celestials or fiends down here.
Cool beans.
It's because she's a fae.
Fays are also immortally young.
Kytrina's going to join the conversation with Father A and Reyna. And Kytrina looks to her and says, I've changed my mind. Due to recent events, you'll be allowed to stay at the Order Hall. I can protect you personally if you stay by my side, or you can travel with my Sentinels and Seekers here. Reyna is going to say, no, I'm good. He's getting me out of the country. And point at Father A.
Well, if I do that, like I said, it's not going to be tonight. So you'd need a place to rest that's safe.
She's gonna look back at Kytrina and say, oh, well, in that case, Kytrina's gonna shake her head and say, nope, too late. She smiles, patting the girl's head, and says, you can find an extra bed in the bunk room. I'll put some sheets around it or something to give you some privacy. The girl nods, smiling, for the first time since you guys have seen her.
Good on her. Johan's going to take this opportunity to, one, note to everybody as she goes to bed that she is not undead, so we can all come down from that. And then two, know that he's going to go to bed because he needs rest.
Yeah, everybody in the party needs some rest about now. Alright, so it is the end of the 21st of Father. Does anybody want to do anything else before we go to the next day?
I was just gonna say,
it is the evening of the 21st.
So like the early evening?
No, it's bordering late. Like it'd be going between 8 and 9 p.m.
Oh well.
Celebrus is going to approach Lance. Lance, you're a member of the Chantry of Harmony, aren't you?
JJ, if you're speaking, your mic is muted.
I'm muted. Like, yes, I am.
I'm not good with this politic bullshit.
Neither am I.
I hit things. I've only am a noble because of my knighthood, and I'm not sure if that sticks right now because the person who gave it to me is dead. Regardless, I think
Did the ghost
to get
bigger?
someone into the council that we can trust. And
No.
as painful as it is to say, because yes, we've had our, problems with the trust with each other, but I trust you in this, and although I don't have the best reputation with them right now, I think me and you should go talk to them about putting you in
To the Chantry Department?
as
Or
their
the group.
counsel.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, are you saying you're not in good standing with Chantry Harmony or the group itself?
The Chantry.
I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. I killed one of their members. That's what got me in jail.
Ah, okay. Well, I mean, I can always. Yeah, we can. It won't hurt to try, I guess.
You might want to bring your handler that's your religion advisor as well.
Oh, my spiritual guider there, the one that. Yeah, I can bring Bieza with not Bieza, Nary.
And Aaron.
Yeah, Naren. Bringing Bieza on the mind.
If you want to rest, we can do it tomorrow morning.
That would be lovely. I'm tired. I'm still awake from that time I ran from the werewolf. I am tired, so we'll do that in the morning. And then we'll continue with the other business we have to do.
I'll stay and watch down on the floor like usual tonight.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go sleep probably away from Bieza because that's awkward still right now.
Yeah, what's up with you two?
She, I don't know how to explain it. Let's just say that she has feelings for me, and I didn't know it, and I kind of started talking about the person I had feelings for before I left in front of her, and I think I upset her.
Celebrus is just gonna, not hard, but smack him in the face.
Like, I don't know how to fix this, so I'm going to kind of let it simmer for a little bit before I start talking to her again.
Celebrus is gonna lean over to him. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I've started developing feelings for someone we're currently hanging out with.
Oh god, it's not in Naren, is it?
No.
It's Katrina.
No. I respect her and Makana more than that.
I'm gonna stop trying to guess because I'm bad.
It's Reyna.
It's who?
It's a trap!
I'm kidding.
It's a trap.
He just taps him on the shoulder and says, "She replaced you, don't worry about it."
Oh, okay. That's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it. Well, good luck in your endeavor on that one. I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, if we don't die before then.
Yeah.
All right. So, does anybody else want to do anything tonight, or are you guys all going to go to sleep?
Did me immediately go to sleep? Thank you, stress that. That woman needs rest.
Yeah, finding Meat, you're gonna find her in the, message room, just kind of, going, back and forth, and, she is, not sleeping yet, but she does, look calmer.
How you holding up?
Meat is, going to, see you in the doorway and shake her head and say, still trying to comprehend everything, and I still think we should go to the. I still think we should go to the warden and say exactly what happened. When he, for the small amount of time he's going to be on the throne, it's going to make our lives a lot easier, especially if he thinks we're on his side. She points to the table inside of the message room, and this room, by the way, is it's about 15 feet tall in height, and wall to wall in this room is lined with bookshelves. However, instead of books on these shelves, there are just stacks and stacks of parchments, folded letters, and everything sorted in every different way here. On the table in the middle of the room, you can see there is a sheet of parchment laid out, and a inkwell next to it, and a quill. It seems she has been writing a letter. She gestures to it and says, "I've been trying to think on what we could tell him and how to shape the situation better in our favor and in favor of the nation. All I've ever wanted to do is just see Ardor become a better place."
I understand.
Does Father A read the letter?
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
It
he
says...
would probably I'd ask permission and then go over it if she was okay with that.
She would nod and say, there's not very much... there's not very much on it now, but I'm getting there. Father A is going to go to the letter, and it says, "Hi, I'm Meat. I'm a knight." And where it says "I'm a knight" is scratched out and says "I was a knight." That is all that's on the letter so far.
Not much of a wordsmith, are you, Meat?
She's gonna shake her head and say, "No, I work with silver."
It's fine.
She's going to point and say, "I'm not like your other fancy noble friend. I don't have retainers and squires to write my letters for me."
You know where I was a couple months before I became a knight? In a dungeon. Not unlike the one that assassin tried to fight us in.
Mentioning that, you're still going to see Meat's a little bit sour about it. Her expression's going to shift from, like the calm one she's had as she's been like walking back and forth and trying to think, to a hard grimace of her eyebrows scrunched down, and her mouth like also bent down.
Sorry.
She's
I've never been good with words.
She's gonna shake her head and say, "No, just if I find that pale bitch, I'm gonna wring her neck, cut off her head."
Well, hopefully you get the chance. But yeah, as much as I'm not a fan, so she said the warden, right? So she means Oris.
Yes.
Not a particular fan of Oris, but you're right. We should tell him something to, at the very least, make a case of saving one of our necks we can. But it's a question of how much we need to say. Telling him about what happened to the magnate, that's just a sad fact. But I don't know if we should tell him about the assassin or what happened in that dungeon.
Meat is going to hiss and say, "It was disgraceful. I could have taken her."
I'm sure you could, and I'm sure I could have as well. but I try to avoid needless bloodshed.
Her expression is going to, her expression's going to calm down a little bit and say, yes. That's a good course. I'd actually been thinking about joining the Kalkin if we can't get in with the Warden. It's not as luxurious as a life as a knight, but she gestures to the walls and says, at least they house you.
That's true. And it's noble service, at the very least.
And we like silvered weapons.
And your ability to work with silver, I'm sure, is coming very handy for their particular line of work.
Meat is going to snap and like point at Father A with a smile, walk over to her letter, and add to it, I am a talented smith. It now reads, hi, I'm Meat. I was a knight, scratched out. It says, hi, I'm Meat. I was a knight. I am a talented smith. She's going to throw a hand towards Father A and say, I'm just going to spend tonight working on this. And just working with my hands helps me calm down.
I understand. But so if that's your course of action, I think it's been too long a day. I should go rest.
She nods before you leave, walks up to you and offers a handshake.
I'll reciprocate.
And
I was totally expecting a hug.
and she's gonna say, I understand not all decisions are easy.
No decisions in life are easy.
Her face seems stern the whole time, and she nods and goes back to her table and begins pacing around it again.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I wanted to check in on. Other than that, I would like to note that I would probably briefly reflect on the day's events and, sort of, what's the word I want to use here? More or less pray before I go to bed.
Alright, prayer is good.
Here you go, Han. I sent you another one.
You sent me another what?
No, that's what he's praying. He's praying to the God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they said, oh, hey, Johan, I sent you another one. I was like, what did you... Who sent Johan something? What was it?
Alright.
No, I said, hey, babe, I sent you another one.
Hey, boo. Sent you another soul.
It is the 30... Oh, no, it is not the 31st. It is the 32nd, the 22nd of Priestess. The night inside the city was kind of tumultuous. Yeah, we'll go with that one. As there wasn't overt riots, however, there were revelers in the street celebrating the prince's death. It was a very loud and rambunctious night. However, waking up the next morning, it seems that things have quieted down a small amount. Everybody is inside of the Kalkin Order House in various places. You guys are almost reaching maximum capacity. So some people, might be sleeping in the meeting room. Some people might be sleeping in the lounge downstairs. Some
Well, that's where
people might be in
Celebris has always been sleeping. He just sleeps on the couch down there.
Johan sleeps in his bed.
Yeah, the bunkhouse is equipped for, I think I said 14 people or something. However, you guys are all awake on the 22nd. What does the party want to do? As you guys wake up, you're going to notice too, once again, Kaitrina and Makana are not in the bunkhouse. Or they're not in the bunk room.
Are they in the house?
No, pretty regularly, as you guys have been sleeping here, they've been leaving before everybody wakes up and sparring. You guys have walked in on them several times as they finish their like morning practice. But yeah, you guys can reasonably assume they're still doing that.
Celdris wants to go hunt and see if he can join them real quick.
Alright, they are getting up at the crack of dawn to do this. Following, or rather, going and looking for them, the Kalkin office is in a outer part of the city known as the city proper. This area of the city is connected to a large public park called the Forge Ring. All of the buildings here are squished on this small little river island, are smashed against each other, and the city streets are just packed with people. So the reasonable place to look for them if they need space to to spar and practice in this way would be somewhere in the Forge Ring, as it's basically just a large park. So I'm assuming Celebris goes there?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is everybody else doing?
Johan wants to talk to Reyna. Because what's her name made a very important point that she's kind of young to be an arcane.
Alrighty. Reyna is waking up as everybody else in the bunk room is waking up and starting to make noise and shuffle about their day. Johan could be the first person to approach her. So that's one thing we're handling. And Barty and Lance and Father A, what are you guys doing?
The Lord's work.
Murdering?
Masturbating.
So, is meat up?
Yeah, this is kind of a cascade of people waking up. You guys are all sleeping in one room, and it's, a wooden floored building, so as one person gets up and starts shuffling, they're gonna wake up somebody else. They're gonna wake up somebody else, who then gets up and then, hey, good morning, hey, yeah, let's, hey, did you catch that creature? No, I didn't. Alright, keep looking for it, Yavano, and then that conversation's gonna wake up somebody else, and everybody's just kind of, one by one, like, waking up. But yeah, Meat would be awake in this.
Also, I'd want to check if she wanted to talk to the warden today.
Meat is, waking up, you're going to see you're going to see her wake up with a little bit of a smile, before it's going to, slowly fade and say, no, I've been thinking a lot about what we said, and, she, pulls out, the letter she was working on and hands it to, Father A. It is a list of her credentials, and she says, I'm gonna give this to Lady Elslore and apply to join.
Alright then. Sorry, long pause, because, like I said, Father, not good with words. Other than that, it's like, well, I did tell that green-haired girl I'd get her out of the country. And, I probably owe, Galea thank you for the help. So... So yeah, so his course of action would want to be to go talk to his criminal contact, because he needs to smuggle somebody out of the city.
Alright. Galay can definitely set that up for you. And Bartholomew.
Yes.
What's he doing? He's waking up. What is this? His third? Or no, it's not his third day at the Calcan office. He's been here for about a week. Bartholomew is waking up inside of a Calcan bunkhouse. Never a place he thought he'd find himself comfortably welcome. What's he doing?
He is getting out of that house. I don't know.
Follows Father A? Old dudes sticking together?
Yeah, we're following Father A.
Alright. He'll be thankful, the next time Kadam jumps him in the street. So, I'm kidding, by the way. Alright, so...
That dude's gonna do it.
Yeah, Johan is going to... Johan is going to is going to be the first one as everybody's like shuffling out, and he's going to talk to Reyna. She's gonna wake up stretching and rubbing her eyes, and as she stands up, she is just a few inches taller than Johan. Johan is looking face to face with this small little Nagian child. And she's gonna say, "Oh,
is she scared?"
No, she isn't. She's gonna say, "Oh, excuse me."
Small, wouldn't they be about the same eye to eye?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like
she is just a few inches taller than Johan.
So close.
I'm going to, because I'm apparently a creeper, and I like waiting by her bedside until she wakes up.
Well, no, you walked over as she was waking up. So.
I'm gonna go. Do you want to go downstairs and grab some breakfast?
She's gonna nod and say, yeah, I would like to eat. This is, does this service come standard with the Calcan?
As long as I've been here, I've been fed.
She is gonna follow Johan downstairs. There is a storeroom of rations, food, and wine and drinking water in the back area of the Calcan office. However, there is not a dining room here. The closest thing to a dining room is there's there's 4 rooms upstairs. There's a completely empty one that nobody really speaks of. There is the large meeting room, the message room, and then the bunk room.
Isn't there a room downstairs with a hearth and like chairs and places to sit?
Yeah, that's the lobby.
Yeah, I figured we'd just sit there and eat.
All right, just making I'm just giving you the lay of the land. All right, so yeah, you guys sit down there and start eating. Chewing on a ration, she's gonna say, "Look, this is one of my other problems with this country. The food here is so bad."
Preach.
Right? I'm gonna turn and go, "Well, you haven't had prison food yet, so one good thing."
Oh, go ahead.
I'm then going to comment and go, "You're kind of young to be an arcanist. How did that go about?"
Oh, she's gonna shrug and say, Lil Nagai has weird laws. every general must be accompanied by an Arch-Arcanus. My charge chose me to be his attendant. However, I wasn't an Arch-Arcanus, but by law, I became one.
Oh. So, do you have any magical prowess?
She's going to swallow, coughing a little bit, and then say, yes? She's gonna pull out one of her books from her satchel and say, I am somewhat proficient in abjuration spells. I can cast a protective ward on you if you'd like. Flipping through the pages.
Sure. Let's see if you can do that. I just want to test her abilities.
Alright. She begins casting a spell on you, or towards Johann. He is going to see her holding this book in one hand and reading with a finger, moving her hand up, performing a single somatic component, reading back down in the book with her finger, doing another component, and chanting the spell like halfway through. Finally, she is going to cast the spell, and you're going to see like the forming of arcane magic like around her as she's like doing this incantation, and then everything is going to like snap, start to fizzle and pop like like firecrackers around her as this spell fails. Johann is in the area as it is failing all around him.
Alright.
It doesn't do any damage, but Johann does feel slightly different. She is going to look around Johann and say, oh, okay. Well, that one didn't work, but I can try another.
I feel different. Can I discover what's different about me, Brandon?
Yeah, Johann's legs and entire body feels lighter.
Oh.
He also feels and this is a weird feeling for Johann, he also feels like a cloudy presence of arcane magic inside of his mind. Kind of like if he was drunk. And Johann doesn't get drunk very often, if ever. But like that cloudy haze of, it's hard to make a decision. It's kind of there. He feels that inside of his mind.
Alrighty. I'm going to tell her to stop.
Yeah, she was preparing to cast it again.
Give me a second. How long does this cloudiness last?
She's going to look at her spell book and say, 2, and point and scratch her head and say, well, this is either the draconic character for hours or days.
Oh God.
So I'm going to be drunk or tipsy for either 2 hours or 2 days.
You reach Draconic.
Can I see that book?
You can.
Because I also read Draconic.
Johann, reading this, the incantations and everything is going to, for the spell is going to look like gibberish to him, because it's not in his spell list. However, as far as the description, or rather the loose description of it that he can read, it says hours.
Okay. Cool. 2 hours. Like, I didn't need to know what the spell was. I just needed to know how long it was going to last. So, new question. How long have you been practicing magic?
She is going to shrug and say, I don't know, a couple months?
Oh God.
That explains a whole lot. Let me guess. As soon as you were elected to be his assistant, you started practicing magic?
She shakes her head and says, No, I was actually serving him for an entire year before I picked up a spell book. There wasn't a threat of war before then.
So you were an Arcanist that didn't know magic when you got promoted to Arcanist.
She nods and says, well, before that I was actually, she looks down and says, I was just a slave who was a servant within the ranks of that forming military.
So, you are pretty much innocent of anything that happened in Hellenis, aren't you?
She's going to shake her head and say, no, we had orders to attack. But when the general left, I left with him. If he had still been there, I would have been there too.
After the attack? Okay, so the way you're wording this, Brandon's confusing me. So they got orders to attack. She went with the general and attacked, and then they both ran after the attack.
Okay, as far as what Johan is asking, yes, she had nothing to do with Hellenis. As far as the timeline's concerned, she was out of the ranks of the mercenary army by then, from what she's told you guys. Johan asked her, if she's completely innocent of it. She does not consider herself innocent of it.
Yeah, but what she's telling me, it sounds like it. But then instead of attacking me, ran away. Is what it sounds like that you're saying.
Yeah, she doesn't consider herself innocent of it. However, from Johan's perspective, yes, she had nothing to do with it.
Okay. So she really is, not... There is nobody looking for this child.
Yeah, she's going to go on and say, my charge fled when we could have did so much more, but...
So, what's your charge's name? All you've ever called him by his charge or general.
She's gonna say, Kiris.
Yeah, I did.
General Kiris.
I think his name is actually General Matthew.
Kiris Matthew?
Should it be Kiris Matthew?
Or Matthews. General Matthews.
So, Kiris Matthews?
Yes. He is on the wiki as Kiris Matthews.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll bring that page over to the stream so everybody can see it. And this is information that is just political stuff circulating around Arterserai. Kiris Matthews is an Ililnagai Martial Order Regent. He crossed the border into Arterserai and turned himself over to the Royal Army. And he was lost in the attack when the saboteurs attacked Hellenis. And that was one of the reasons that Seth Kalir was put to death, because they believed she let him into the fortress and he helped the saboteurs out. Nobody had anything to. Nobody could say or persuade otherwise. And then he turned himself in again to the Royal Army about 2 weeks later.
Gotcha.
Wait, so, real quick. Did I already, like, leave? Or was I here for this conversation?
I mean, I imagine you're probably, like, walking out the door as they're setting up and eating dinner. Or eating breakfast.
So you'd be gone by the time this conversation got
I
to
was
this point.
just curious, because of the fact that that name, I feel like, would be significant to Father A.
Oh yeah, it would be. He's worshipped in that chantry before. But also naming your son that it would be like a Catholic person naming their son, Jesus.
Well, yeah. So it's not necessarily like oh God, but it's like, well, that's it.
Well, yeah, it's not like oh God, it's like oh God.
But yeah, I might just internalize that information on my way out.
Crap.
Someone just ripped ass.
Sorry, I didn't know it was that strong.
I heard that all the way over here.
Alright, does
You
Johan
stay
want to
away.
say anything else to her?
At this point in time, she's just a little girl, which, she shouldn't be doing. Magic's evil. But, no, I think the rest of the conversation is going to be, like, just small talk and, making a child feel more comfortable around here.
Alright.
Making her not worry as much.
So, as you guys are talking, and I'm just rolling a percentage die on this, something comes up in conversation, and Johan cannot control himself, and he starts dancing. Whatever that fog is in his mind is triggered on a specific word. You guys were discussing the luxuries of her home life back when she was just promoted to Arcanist back in the Little Magai.
Oh, there's no saves for that?
No, Johan just starts dancing. For the
Alright.
duration of the spell, though, until it ends, and this is only like a 5-second thing that happens of just like this, and he's just like, oh, hey, and he feels it's definitely a result of that arcane magic. But for the result of the 2 hours, Johan's speed also is 35, yeah.
Cool. My speed increased by 10.
Your speed increases by 10, and you cannot stop yourself from dancing when you hear a specific phrase.
Wieners.
That is great.
Music.
Just got to dance.
Anyways, the other members of the party, Celebris first, who is headed out to find Makana and Katrina and spar with them. Leaving the Kalkin office, you are heading towards the Forge Ring. You're going to be able to find them on a particular flat patch of the Forge Ring. There are different areas here where blacksmiths will come up and set up for the day and smith out inside of the elements as a performance for other people. They're going to set up on one of these patches. However, they don't have a tent. They don't have any forging gear. But you will be able to see where there are all these different tents and people scattered. maybe 30 yards apart from each other, like forging, hammers ringing and stuff. There's going to be a ringing, but it's going to be of two women clashing with swords and going at each other. They are... Oh, I didn't roll the weather for the 22nd because the group that traveled through the 22nd, the group who was on the 22nd traveled through it. It is still snowing today. It is just before a heavy snow. So they're in this morning snow, just going at each other. Neither of them are armored, but they are heavily dressed for the elements, and they are dueling with actual swords and not dueling canes. They seem completely preoccupied with each other. However, as Celebrus walks up to watch, there are about 4 other people around here watching this too. It seems that they have started to draw spectators. Not like more people are coming, but they've been doing this long enough that, people know where to come to watch.
Celebrus will walk to a point where he figures they can hear him, and he'll just call out with a smile on his face. I got winner.
Kytrina is going to look over at you. As she does, she has her sword up to parry one of Makana's attacks. Makana stops, grabbing her wrist with her free hand and hitting Kytrina across the head with the butt end of her sword instead. Kytrina falls backwards, and Makana looks down at her and says, "Never take your eyes off of me." You're getting better, though. Kytrina is going to rub her head or temple and say, "That's dirty fighting." Makana shrugs. She gets up, and Kytrina's going to stand up and say, "Oh, Celebrus, all right, is everybody at the office awake? I didn't realize how long we've taken."
I think everyone was starting to wake up when I took off.
Kytrina is going to nod and say, "Oh, all right, I'll go back and give them a briefing as quick as I can." She grabs her sword, and does Celebrus have a sword on him?
No, he brought Sasha.
Okay. Sasha's a staff, right?
Yep.
She is going to, before she leaves, she's going to offer Celebrus her sword. It is the Black Oath Blade that the Magnate gave her.
It's a long sword or a short sword?
It is a long sword.
I don't know. Give me 1 second. I actually want to see if...
I think barbarians pick up proficiency with all weapons when they multi-class.
Yeah, they do. They get simple, martial, and shields.
Problem is my
It probably wouldn't really matter much for your monkness because the die for Sasha is higher than what your monk die is anyway.
Yeah, it's she's mainly doing it as a kind gesture so Makana doesn't cut through your staff.
So I can't use martial arts with it, but that's fine, I guess. Yeah, I'll take it.
Alright, she hands you the sword and begins jogging out of the forge ring, hastily heading back towards the order house. Makana is going to point at Kytrina and say, she didn't ask for this position to be in charge of this house when the others passed away, but regardless, she has it now, so I have to train her to be ready for whatever comes through those doors.
I didn't personally know any of the others, so I can't judge her character against theirs, but I can tell you from at least my perspective, she's doing a damn good job running it.
Makana nods and says, "I agree. But that said, you don't have to be subjected to this, to the same torture she is." Makana is walking around you, twirling her sword.
Celebris kind of just takes a stance with the sword, smiles, and goes, "This isn't torture. If I want to get better, then training against strong people is always the best way to do it."
Alright. Makana doesn't hesitate. She dashes in, sword raised, and attacks Celebris full force. Swinging at your neck with the sword. For all intents and purposes, her sword looks sharp. It is a thin
Plus 47.
Yeah, it is a thin, very deadly looking falchion, I guess would be the best word to describe it. Kind of looks like a short
Scimitar.
sword. Yeah.
It's a short scimitar.
Kind of looks like a mix between a scimitar and a rapier.
Ooh.
You can roll me 3d20s, adding your attack modifier.
My attack modifier, so this is a longsword, so it'd be off strength, right?
Long
yes.
swords or dex weapons? They're finesse.
Longswords
Short
are
sword.
not. Rapiers
Longswords
are.
are. Short swords are.
Yeah.
Are they not? Hold on.
Yeah, they're versatile this edition.
Oh, did they switch it?
Yeah, rapiers are
Finesse.
Rapier, I was thinking of. Son of a bitch.
Okay, so just do 4 or 3 strength checks.
yes. You can add your proficiency bonus to them.
That'd be an 18, a 17, and a 9.
Alright, so Makana's initial assault is going to catch Celebris off guard. As she attacks you without warning, without holding back at all. She is striking for the kill. She is going to land a hit like near Celebris's neck, just as he's like able to get the sword up to stop it from like touching his skin, and very quickly instead punch Celebris in the gut. With that, Celebris is going to know this is not a clean like how to spar dueling fight, and he's gonna adjust very quickly, catching Makana's next move. And I'm assuming Celebris here, like, would he be willing to like kick her?
Oh yeah.
Kick her in the pussy.
So with a kick from Celebris, it's going to unbalance her, and she is going to take Celebris to the ground with her. And on the ground, she is going to roll a grapple attempt at you. Celebris can oppose it with an opposed athletics check. Alright, she is going to beat your athletics check. Stopping.
I haven't had a chance to rage, so I can't put advantage on it.
Stopping from using her weapon, completely dropping it, and positioning herself around onto your back. She is going to she's going to place a elbow on the back of Celebris's neck and say, if I had a dagger right here, this is where I'd pull it out and stab you through the head.
Alright.
She's going to let go of Celebris and say, however, kicking me, throwing me off my balance, that was great. You did much better than Kaitrina the first 8 times.
Savage.
Rolling over so he's actually facing her and then getting up. He'll Just to look at her and say, thanks. That's coming from you. That's a major compliment.
Makana is going to nod and say, I don't have an order house to run. Do you want to try again?
Absolutely. This time, he's going to rage, though.
Alright, you can roll me 2 more checks, and I'll just tell you the results of them.
Will these be with advantage because I'm raging now since they're
yes.
checks?
Alright.
Plus proficiency, that would be a 24 and a 12.
Yeah, so, this time, knowing you're fighting dirty right off the bat, Celebrus is going to get the upper hand in the first round of this, and Makana's going to get the upper hand in the second round. You guys fight to pretty much a standstill before enough people start getting set up in the forge ring that Makana calls off this round and says, that was a good round, but we should probably go back to the order house.
Celebrus will drop his rage and offer a hand out to her.
She shakes it, picking up her sword and sheathing it.
As she's bending down to pick up the sword, Celebrus is going to take the long sword up to her and go, remember, as you're teaching me, keep your guard up. She's going to smile, point a finger, and say, I always say there's room for a lesson. Let's do it again sometime.
She nods and says, I'm dragging Kytrina out here every morning. You're welcome to join. However, as this is going on, Father A and Barty, you guys, your contact, guess where she makes her living at?
The Chopping Shop?
The Chopping Shop, which is right on the edge of the forge ring. So you guys are going to see, this display of people fighting in the distance of the forge ring. It looks like some structured honor duel from this distance. Before you finally see someone jogging in your direction. However, you guys have time. You guys have plenty of time to enter the Chopping Shop before Kytrina even gets there to you. Also, neither of you guys are members of the Kalkin, so what's she gonna say?
Right, she ain't possibly.
Literally, that's true. It's 100% correct. Anyways, inside of the Chopping Shop, you're going to see Fractus and Galay setting up for the day. And by Fractus and Galay setting up for the day, I mean Fractus is being that old, out of shape uncle. He is a big, burly, bulky man, and he is leaning over on the counter, and he is ordering Galay around as she is carrying. A load of items like nearly the size of her, placing them around the shop. And he says, no, that one goes over there. Oh, hey, welcome, friends.
Practice, you never told me that you practiced magic.
He's gonna twist his expression and say, I don't.
Oh, so I was curious, because apparently those muscles are for show.
Damn.
Now, by the way, Fractus doesn't have muscles. Fractus is just like slightly overweight.
That,
yeah.
Is he slightly? I thought he was built or he has that mountain, that kind of mountain, lumberjack build.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a gut, but
Yeah, he has the born this way muscles.
It's like
he didn't work for these.
So you can't. Is this some kind of teaching moment where she has to be independent?
He looks at her and says, "Oh, no, she's just a apprentice." And he shrugs and says, "Sometimes the hard labor falls on the lowest on the totem pole."
Don't I know?
Galay is going to look over the stuff she's carrying and say, "Oh, Father Anderson, welcome." She's going to set down the pile of, or rather the weapons and bags that she's carrying, and dust herself off and say, Master Paher, can I have a moment with one of our patrons? He raises his hand, like just kind of brushing her off, and says, do whatever you want. He walks to the stack she set down, and he takes out about 5 different weapons from it and starts placing them on the racks on the wall. She walks up to you guys and whispers and says, "Did you get my letter?"
Day late and $1 short.
A little later than I would have liked, but yes.
She's gonna nod and say, "I heard what happened to the prince. From what my contacts tell me, I did inform you before it happened, though."
Oh, yes. Let that not be a critique of your professionalism. That was a fault of mine.
She crosses her arms and says, "And so I'm assuming you're coming to demand your gold back?"
Oh, no, you did your job. My fault for not reading the note. If anything, I wanted to thank you.
Galay is gonna look a little surprised and say, "Oh, well, you're welcome. You stay profitable to the Shadow, and the Shadow will stay helpful to you."
Exactly. If possible, I'd like you. So, I don't know what you've heard, but Kadam's still walking around Ardor.
Galay is going to nod and say, "I haven't kept up with her after I found out she was at the capital."
Well, what I heard leaving the castle that day is they caught somebody, but I can assure you it was not the right target.
Galay nods, just taking in this information, and she says, "And so, do you want something in exchange for this info?"
There's a Lilmagian general in jail. You know anything about him?
She nods and says, "Yeah, he was at Westwind when it fell. The idiot had the chance to flee the country, but he turned himself back in. Little too late, though, for Kalir." She gestures her finger to her neck.
Oh, Seth, that's right. Because she's dead, air quote.
Totally happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard. Out of character, did Reyna mention the fact that he was caught twice? Because I believe that was said.
I honestly don't remember, but Galay just told you he turned himself back in.
Do you know where they're keeping him? And if it's possible to get talk to him?
She's gonna nod and say, he's being kept in Storm's Nest, along with everybody else they capture. The Chantry requested, the Chantry of Concordance interrogated him briefly, but other than that, he's been under Oris's care. And she's going to shake her head and say, "Now, you know, I do contact with a lot of no good people. She's gonna look back at Fractus and then whisper, if I was you, I would just stay out of Storm's Nest.
Yeah, I'm not thinking that I want to be alone in the forest right now.
She's gonna tilt her head and say, you gave me some information for free, so I'll give you some. Word among the guards at Storm's Nest, Oris is a fan of torture, especially people he knows. If he recognizes a face, he likes to see it suffer.
Well, yeah, so...
Wouldn't bode well for you going back there.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, would an unfamiliar face have an easier time getting to speak to him, or is it just stay out?
She's gonna lean back and say, and what do you want with a twice disgraced Ililnagian general?
The other reason I came to talk to you. I have this charge. It is Arch Arcanus. He was out of the country.
She's gonna raise her eyebrows and say, ooh, she's worth a pretty penny. He's gonna say, you know, you can turn her in for a bounty. General won't talk. No form of torture. No form of interrogation. He's just a silent stone. They've been trying to find the person he was traveling with.
Yeah, I figured she might be worth something, especially since she knows it. But I got one to two feelings about her. Either she's exactly what she looks like, which is a little girl, or she's a little more than that. I don't know if I trust a little more than either of those things in the hands of a man like Horus.
You say he's a pedophile?
No, I'm saying he's an ass.
It sounds like he's a
He just
pedophile.
admitted that he likes to torture people, and I doubt that he has a soft spot for 12-year-olds.
No, just when you put it, it sounded like he was a pedophile.
I mean, he could be.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know.
He beat his child.
With what?
Everything.
Oh, God.
Like, she turned to drugs thereafter.
That was after her husband died.
Well, I mean,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
but that was
she
also after
fled-
getting
yeah.
beaten by her father. She ran away with her.
Yeah. Galay is gonna look back at Fractus and say, well, every now and then, we still have to ship some things to Ililnagai, even though we're at war. You know, Nazaran business. I suppose she could go missing in one of those caravans. Or with one of those caravans.
When's the next time that could happen?
Let's see. It is the 22nd of Father. She's gonna say, well, I'd have to check with Fractus the next time we have a Nazaram contract. But as soon as I know, I'll let you know immediately.
And then more important, how much is it gonna cost me?
Galay is going to smile and say, well, if it's profitable for the Shadow, hopefully not much. I have to run it by my superiors first. And she says, but me personally, I want to charge you more than 100 gold and in addition to her traveling costs.
It seems reasonable.
And she says, and the girl can keep a low profile, right?
Well, she stayed free this long, but she has bright green hair. So kind of stands out.
Galay nods and says, "All right, I will definitely be looking into it. I know some people, and we can hopefully get this caravan arranged soon."
All right.
The whole time Galay has been talking, she's been looking over her shoulder back at practice.
So, what's up with practice?
She's going to say to that, well, and she's been talking pretty quietly this time and say, he hasn't confronted me about it, but I think he knows that I'm working for the Shadow now. My labor around here is increased. He questions everything I do in my off time. But they put me here because they didn't want to lose his contacts. So when it comes down to paying loyalty to him or them, I'm going to go with the people who have untold numbers of mercenary armies who could send assassins at any second after me, rather than the grouchy old man.
I understand. Well, hopefully he doesn't run you too hard.
Yeah. As this conversation's happening, you're gonna notice ever so often Practice looks up and looks at you guys. However, the chop and shop is large enough that you can assume you're having he can't hear what you're saying.
It probably doesn't help that I make frequent visits given our history.
She's gonna shake her head and say, no. The more you come, the more money I make, and the more I prove myself to the superiors. So, soon I'll have a post of my own if I can get enough contacts.
Well, that's all the information I have, and all the information that, well, what do you know about the Berthold family?
Galay is going to whistle and say, "Ooh, they inform us a little bit about that before we take positions inside the city here. That one's going to cost you."
I need to know who can confirm lineage
That's still alive.
that's still alive.
Galay is going to say to that, "Well, I might know somebody. And see, I like when you visit, because I like what your visits bring. But if I just tell you, then you're going to be gone and you haven't brought anything yet."
Galay, I understand. You want the money. I'm just telling you what exactly I want to know, so I know exactly, so you know exactly how much to charge me.
As you guys are having this conversation, Practice is going to walk up, grab Galay by the shirt, lift her up, and say, "You're not going to get your own post if you extort your own. If you extort all of your contacts." Galay is going to look at him and hiss and say, "So you do know?" He's going to say, "Yes, and you're going to get yourself killed." Galay is going to fight out of his grip and say, "Well, I have to make a living too myself." He puts her down and looks to Father A, and he's going to say, Councilwoman Keeve was good friends with Celia before she died. If anybody knows the inner workings of that family, it's her. Galay is gonna, behind Fractus, just go, "Really?" Fractus looks to her and she says, "Information is my business." And he points to the axes and swords in the pile that he's mostly sorted by now, and says, "No, being an apprentice smith is your business for what I hired you for." Galay is going to look at Father A and then to Fractus and kind of look defeated at this and walk back. And Fractus is going to look to Father A and say, "I couldn't, for the first few times you came here, I knew you had some dealings with the Ruby Shadow, but I couldn't place it if they'd sent you to case out this place, or if you were collecting information from me. But I put it together after you kept coming to visit her."
Yeah, I'm not the most subtle of people.
He looks back at Galay and says, They planted a contact right underneath me."
You mean, do you blame them? You're not exactly, you weren't exactly unuseful.
He nods and says, "I'm thinking about selling this place anyways."
You know, it probably wouldn't hurt to apprentice her in your other business.
He's gonna look at you and then kind of look back at her and say, she doesn't have the heart for it."
She tracked down a shapeshifter hiding in the castle.
He nods and then says, "But see, money and profit for the Ruby Shadow is what this business takes. If somebody comes in here and orders a hit out on your head, do you think she's gonna do it, or do you think she's gonna break down and try and find a way to weasel out of it? And that's what gets the good contacts killed. This game wasn't meant for loyalty."
Practice. I'm well aware that, and I don't know what she's capable of quite yet. I know full well you would have sent an assassin after me if the money was right.
He nods and says, "Then that's exactly why I'm still alive."
Lucky for you, nobody made that hire. Because they did. But
I mean, who knows? They probably did. They're now dead.
they're now dead. But you should. She's good at what I've seen, so don't dismiss it just yet. Or if somebody comes asking for a price on your head.
He's gonna nod and say, "I'll consider it, but for now, take that nugget of wisdom for free. I'd very much like to see this capital not go up in flames."
Too late.
Neither would I, which is why I need that information. Thanks, Practice. Thanks, Galay.
She's gonna wave to you as you guys leave. Does Barty want to do anything while he's here? Oh, Taylor is muted. All right.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, Councilwoman Kiev was good friends with Celia before Celia died. Everybody knows the magnate's wife is long dead, and he remarried.
Kiev?
Yes, K-I-V.
And she was friends with the magnate's first or second wife?
First wife.
Celia is who he told you. And
The wife before the most recent one.
yeah, Ariana told you she is the daughter of Celia.
Okay.
There are people we haven't handled yet. What was Lance doing? I don't remember.
See, I thought I was supposed to go somewhere with... who was it?
Celebris.
Celebris?
Yeah.
And I think he went and did something else. I've been sitting in the fucking Calcutta office waiting for it to come get me so we can go to the damn Chantry of Harmony.
Yeah, Katrina comes back to, give out orders, and it's just like Balin, Lance, and Johan there, and it's just like,
Just kind of sitting in this place like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, I get yelled at every time I go off on my own.
So Brandon,
So
I want
finally,
to.
the one time I stay here, I get abandoned. Fuck.
Brandon, was the Chantry of Harmony the one that wanted the
The Chantry of Harmony is the chantry that worships the Earth God.
They
Okay.
wanted Nakart
Yeah.
as counsel, and then she said to the one chick that's
Anadelia.
married to the other chick, and
yeah, and then they're thinking on it.
Yeah.
they're still.
Honestly speaking, if you can convince them to say yes, I think Anadelia would be better than Lance.
Whoa. Are you doubting Lance's decision-making skills?
Yes,
Shit,
I believe
I
that
don't
Lance
think
is on
we
equal terms with the dead magnate.
Lance is doubting his own decision-making skills right now between what's going on with Bieza. He doesn't need you to doubt them.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I have a better chance with my Chantry than Anadelia, whatever her name does, with any Chantry. Let's be honest here.
That's because I haven't gotten to the next order of business, which is triangle chokes.
Well, think of it as Brandon said. While I was working for the Prince, I was the entire time I was working for the Magnate. No Magnates died. I am the greatest protector of this city.
And I remember I said that is a double-edged sword. While Lance was working for the Prince did live, but then Lance also quit out of anger, and then he died.
I didn't quit out of anger. I quit out of moral righteousness.
That's fair. Anyways, though, for everybody's going to be able to congregate back at the Kalkin office in the events of the morning. The party is together, and Katrina is going to assign out jobs for the day. She is not going to tack Raina to the party. She's going to assign personally that Sindel watcher for this day. Yavano is still tracking the creature that went missing over on the eastern side of the city. And Katrina herself today is going to be holding down the office. Makana is spending every day following Draylin Madison, trying to find a way to kill him.
She's got anything for us?
Your guys' order for today is going to be hey, in case the Kalkin's office gets attacked, we have no idea what's going to happen. Make sure I can reach you and that you can come back to the order hall and protect it.
Okay.
Johan is training both Thalin and Celebris. As far as the Kalkin training goes, it's pretty loose. As most of the time you apprentice yourself out to a more experienced member of the Kalkin, and they train you however you see fit. Bartholomew trained you guys one way. Johan doesn't have to do it the same way. The sooner Celebris and Fallon, though, are full up to snuff members, the better. What's the party want to do?
Did we ever send out that letter to Lady Nakart?
Katrina sent it.
Okay. Here's an idea, and this might be crazy. Why don't we go try and stop the Mountain Warders from advancing by talking to them?
You mean killing them?
No. I mean, seriously talking to them. This is Johan. We're talking this out.
I feel like we're gonna get stabbed.
We are technically neutral. We are the Kalkin. We are not aligned with Ardor.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Y'all are Kalkin. I'm not, but I was born in Ardor Sarai. So I'm a citizen of this nation. I would be seen as an enemy if I go up there.
I'm an Ilderon political refugee. If anything, I'm more the enemy.
Like, we're both. You have two people that are technically enemies of them.
Cool.
I know that might be in question right now.
You can just say you're Kalkin, and they won't hurt you immediately.
Why would the Mountain Wardens give an ounce what a bunch of Kalkin want to say about Ardor's situation right now?
That's true too.
I mean, they'd probably want to know that the source of their anger is no longer there, so chill out.
I'm going to pose a simple thing here. What if it goes wrong?
Then we run.
How are we going to outrun an army?
They're an army. They're slow naturally.
No, they're really not.
I don't think you know how armies are. They are very slow.
Armies are slow by design because you don't want to break rank to capture foot soldiers, 8-foot soldiers. That would be active engagement. They could move faster. Also, dwarf, you're not fast.
Mahawk says otherwise.
Well, here's another thing. They probably have like all sorts of crazy powerful mages and shit. We don't know what the fuck we'd be dealing with. Also, we're running one direction. Next thing you know, we're back in like the capital of the fucking Mountain Wardens people, and suddenly we're executed right there.
We're emissary of peace. We're not there to start a fight. We're there to stop one.
But you're under
the fight's already started.
You're under the impression that they'll just see us as emissary of peace and just be like, okay, cool.
Why wouldn't they?
Well,
because they're assholes.
8 assholes walking up against an army of 4,000 people is a suicide mission, so they take pity on us for our stupidity.
I'd hope. At least make it quick.
I think you have, like, the worst idea of people, and that you should believe in others more.
I'm more concerned about the fact that if we're wrong, this isn't, if we're wrong,
we're fucked.
4,000 Mountain Wardens.
We might be able to take a couple with us if we had to fight. Goddamn, we're not winning this.
Best case scenario, everything works out. Worst case scenario, I and hopefully at least 4 other Mountain Wardens get to serve Haldora in the afterlife.
Best case scenario for me is I live. Worst case scenario, I die. And I'm trying to bring people with me. Even worse, I die tired.
As you guys are talking, and everybody's been like given their duty for the day, Giovanno is gearing up and walking by, and he is just like laughing intensely, like, And he points to you guys arguing with Johann and says, trust me, there's a reason why Johann's a sentinel. If I could use words like swords that like him, I'd have twice as many jobs solved with half as many kills. But he looks to the party and says, the world doesn't always work like that, though. He puts on his helmet and walks out the door.
Thank you, Giovanna.
What the fuck did he just say?
You know that he did technically endorse and not endorse at the same time. He praised your worldview, Johann, while also stating that the Mountain Wardens are a shoot-first kind of people.
Who has a thing going on in the background?
I don't know. It sounds like someone's got
it's Taylor.
like a fucking air pressure.
Is it me?
Yeah, it is you. It's like a fan or something. However, you guys have a myriad of things you could do today. You can go talk to the Chantry of Harmony, argue for Anadelia. You can try and find out more about Councilwoman Kiev. You guys can try and get Lance on the council. You can go talk to the Mountain Wardens. Or you can go to Storm's Nest.
Oh yeah, I'd have to tell them about the other two things. Those two things.
You have to tell us about Kiev, that's for sure.
Well, and Storm's Nest. Well, you know Storm's Nest exists. That's why I want to go there.
Yeah.
See, like, if I were to say I did make it council too, that would make it even worse to go to the Mountain Wardens for me.
Well, if anything, as a council person, you have something resembling a real legal standing to speak for the country.
Yeah, but, like, I also have a real legal standing to get my head chopped off by Mountain Warden.
To be fair, you have that anyway.
That's true. I have a bigger reason. That's like, I have a target about the size of, like, my pinky right now, then suddenly councilman, and it's like, full-on jacket-sized target.
Well, does anybody else have any other ideas? I believe that this will work.
Well,
I will... You go ahead. No, go ahead.
My contact told me that a Councilwoman Kiev might be able to confirm Ariana's lineage. Well, I can certainly do that myself. I don't think I have, at the moment, the kind of legitimacy to stand on my own. Also, that Olilniji in general, that Reyna's the charge of, is in Storm's Nest.
Arena's not nearby, is she?
No, she's with Sindel.
Cool. One thing I would not want her to find out, because I wouldn't want her to try something.
Knows that. Or she doesn't know the name of the jail, but I'm pretty sure that's where he would have been.
Just after speaking with her, I learned that she is very much a child, and I don't want to put any any ideas in her head.
What did you see?
That she had a very harsh upbringing, and that her title was pretty much forced upon her by the fact that the general just pointed at one random slave child and said, "This child is my Arcanist," and thus it was so.
All the more reason for me to want to talk to this man.
Also, she's not very good at magic. And confirmed that.
Well, regardless, I don't think it's wise to ride out and speak to the Mountain War. I think, at least right now, I think
We have like
them
we have
is
like
a course of action.
we have a day before they attack.
How long do you think it'll take you to get to them?
A day. They're marching towards us. It'll take us less than a day to get there.
Oh. Okay, I'll go out on a limb because we're just kind of saying yes, no to each other. I will go out on a limb and say we can go to the Mountain Wardens, but as soon as it looks like they're gonna take us into custody or anything like that, I am doing my magic-y hoo-ha out like I did when we saw Draylin and Barb.
Meat comes downstairs, by the way.
Gone.
Lance.
Johan thinks it's a wise idea to ride out to speak to the Mountain Wardens that are marching on Ardor. As a slightly more experienced knight, what's your opinion?
Meat is gonna scratch her head and say, "What are your other options?"
Well, to be
That's what I
fair,
said.
wait. Because there's still so much more to take care of right now.
Yeah, and I believe that those can wait until either, one, after the war that we're about to fight if we don't stop the Mountain War, or two, after we stop the Mountain Warders and avoid the war.
I hate to say it. As a former knight of this country, I still feel an obligation to try and protect it. And if I could help prevent a war, god damn it, I'll do it. But damn it, I don't like the option we have.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a wise course of action, but that doesn't mean you can't take it.
Yeah.
To be fair, you can go by yourself or with whoever wants to join you, Johan.
Meat is gonna say, "I don't think either path is gonna be a piece of cake."
No,
we-
it's not. We're absolutely
When Meat says cake, by the way, Johan does a small jig. Like, it is a compulsory thing.
the hell is wrong with you?
A side effect of the little lady trying to use her magic and failing.
So whenever someone says cake, you do that.
Can you please stop?
Johan, busts out and does a small jig once more. But Meat is going to look down at...
No one say cake.
Once again, and it's on the tail end of this effect. But Meat continues and says, I think either path is difficult. And she looks at Johan, and then continues, and then says, the Mountain Wardens, they don't listen to anybody except the Eye of the Mountain. They're barely even a part of this country.
So we need to speak with the Eye of the Mountain. So we have to go fight the Eye of the Mountain.
Meat is gonna look to the side and say, nobody's heard from him for days.
Well, I mean, when we're at war with him, I don't think he's really going to be
Thanks,
talking. Yeah. Like, I think he's not going to really be welcoming to talk to anybody from the country he's at war with. So it's more we're going to have to try. I guess we're going to have to try to track him down if we want to try and prevent a war.
Wouldn't you have to go through the Mountain Wardens to get to the Eye of the Mountain?
Well,
Well,
you
how about...
could if you want to do it difficultly, but get there quicker, or we could try and skirt around the army itself. They have to be on that one direct route here. It's not like they're going to be spread out in multiple directions. So if we were to try to skirt it and then go...
The point was more, I don't think you can move fast enough to get around them to the Eye of the Mountain, talk him down, and then get back. We'd have to talk directly to the force regardless.
Yeah.
Well, where was the Mountain Warden last seen?
You're asking Meat that?
Yeah.
She's gonna shrug and say, I don't know.
Hell, I wouldn't.
Meat is Meat wears a symbol from the Chantry of Discipline. However, it doesn't seem that or rather, nobody's ever talked to her about religion.
Well, I would suggest that we go, if we can't find the Eye of the Mountain, go speak to the Mountain Wars directly.
That seems our only option if we go with that direction. We're not going to be able to find the Eye of the Mountain inside. It'd be so convenient if he was with the army.
Meat is going to suggest she's not in the loop on what you guys know. So she's.
I told her about Ariana.
Well, yes. And she's gonna look to Father A, and she's going to look to the rest of the group and say, "I have to come clean about a secret. The Berthole family isn't completely dead. They have a daughter." She doesn't know all of you guys know.
Oh
my god.
We have a secret. We have a secret too, Meat.
I have to tell you. We all know.
We all know. We all met her. We all want her to be
We've talked
magnate.
to her already.
We've already talked to her.
Meat is going to say the reason why the country functioned so well under Respis was because of his marriage. If he still has a child left, maybe they'll listen to her. I mean, she's not the Eye of the Mountain, but she is the chosen she is the daughter of the chosen protector of 4 of our gods, or rather, the granddaughter of the chosen protector of 4 of our gods.
Well, it is a good thing we already sent word to Lady Nick to send her over here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a day to get from Somarvilla to here, and they'll be here.
That's if you walk.
Yeah, if you walk.
Well, I don't. Well, she probably has a horse.
Yeah.
So 8 hours to get here, but then we'd have to move from 8 hours from here to meet them. I don't know how close they'll be.
They're at least a day's out. So
that's what I'm saying.
Like half a day.
Meat is gonna look to Father A, then to Johann, then to Barty, who is clearly a foreign elf, to Lance, who speaks for himself.
Yes, I do.
Fallen, who
I
Lawrence
speak for the country.
found on the street before he got here. And I think that is your entire... Oh, and then Celebrus, who is also speaks for himself. And Meat's gonna say, why don't you guys get someone in your ranks who's good at this politics thing?
Johann's gonna point at him and goes, I've been trying!
Well, you're not good at this either.
Okay, question. Does any of y'all, do any of y'all know scrying-esque magic?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if it will work, but if we were to try to scry, if we were to try to scry on the Eye of the Mountain Warrior, would just his title be able to allow us to see the person?
Would I know his name as a character?
No, he shed his name before he sheds his name when he picked up his title. He is simply the Eye.
So, theoretically, yes.
So...
the point... So, Eye of the Mountain should be fine, no, that should be fine. It's his title. It's not, it's not one we throw around willy-nilly.
So if we were to find somebody that could do scrying magic, could we not use that to find him?
Well, there are ways to defend against that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, I know that, but I mean, shot in the dark, that might work.
Or since we are planning on having Miss Kenfield speak to the mountain wardens, maybe we could instead make sure we have someone to verify that she is
Coming.
in fact a member of the magnate's family, and that would be tracking down this Councilwoman Kiev that Father A has talked about.
Yeah, that was my plan of attack.
Well, let's find Kiev and then grab Ariana. Not Ariana. Wait, is it Ariana?
Yeah.
Ariana.
Okay, I had the name right and I confused.
Oh yeah, it is
myself.
Ariana. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, God damn it!
You're right. You're right. You're right. There you go.
Do you want a cookie?
Yes, I do actually.
Too bad I don't have cookies.
Damn it!
All right. So, you guys want to head to the Ethics Council?
I mean, who's all
Lance is going to, Silver's going to grab Lance by his shoulder. You want to let them think that, and me and you will take care of what we talked about?
Oh yeah. Also, I need to stop by the. I just remembered about it. I need to stop by the place where you register land in this area. They might have found my fucking scroll pedigree.
All right.
I
So,
forgot all about that.
While we're on this, guys, Kytrina sent a hawk out to Somar Villa. Well, what do you think?
By flying, it would
Look out
take.
for. Should we keep a lookout for Ariana?
Probably should. I hope that the note would say to at least go to the Calcan office.
That's what I was about to say. Why don't we just go check and see where she asked her to meet at? Go to Kytrina and go, hey, where is Ariana going to come when she... Where'd you ask Ariana to come to when you sent that letter?
Kytrina is going to respond. The Nakarts have a keep in town. If things get dangerous, it's more defensible than our order house.
Alright, so why don't we have someone go wait for Miss Ariana over there so that she can bring her to Councilwoman Kiev, or we can bring Councilwoman when we know that she is there.
Kytrina is gonna sit up and she's gonna think about it for a moment and then say, I'll send Sindel.
Cool beans, thank you.
Isn't Sindel protecting Reyna?
She is.
Okay.
However, Kytrina did just tell you that building's more defensible.
That's fair. Except for that one time, a group of assholes.
Those group of assholes had a huge, massive werewolf and a high-level caster helping them out.
Well, they're dead now,
Mhm.
so...
Alright, so we have somewhat a game plan here. Let's go ahead and...
Alright, so...
are we waiting for... Should we go talk to Councilwoman Keep now, or do we want to wait
Yes.
until we have our...
No, do it now.
Okay.
grab her, grab the other...
Yes, Cerberus.
Me and Lance are gonna go somewhere else, because I got my own plan I want to try to invoke on.
And then after we do that, I'm gonna head to the whatever that place, or whatever the fucking place where we go get land from. Make sure to see if my pedigree came in.
I will, we'll meet you at the Nakart Manor
I haven't been there before.
when this is all said and when we're said and done. All right.
Sounds good. One more thing. I am crashing really hard right now, guys.
Alright,
You don't be passing out.
We can pick up inside of Councilwoman Keeve's office next time. I kind of wanted to get you guys a little bit further.
I mean, y'all can continue playing without me if you want.
No, I would prefer to have Johann's voice of reason there.
Are you afraid that I'm going to get punchy?
I'm afraid that you're going to do everything you can to not do to do.
I mean, what did Johann say not to do? I'm pretty sure Johann's fine as long as that woman leaves that meeting intact.
Johann's fine so long as nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
On either side.
I mean, maybe a bone gets dislocated.
So as long as passing out and hurting people are two different things.
I was about to say, you could probably choke a person without causing any bruising.
We really haven't.
You can actually.
We really haven't covered a lot this session, so we're gonna go till 10:30. We will handle Councilwoman Keeve here, and then we'll end there. So, because I believe it is mostly going to be a Father A. Well, I feel like Ariana's more of Ariana's more of Father A's personal story. So, and I kind of want to cover just a little bit more tonight. So we'll just we'll do Councilwoman Keeve and then we'll end.
Okay.
All right. So.
So defeated.
Real quick, the lines I've drawn, the red is the council quarters, the orange is the Chantry of Harmony, the purple line is the possible lines Lance can take back to the party. In Councilwoman, or rather in the Ethics Council, when you guys get here, there is going to be a group of servants at the front entrance of each of these amphitheater-like buildings, and they are going to be directing petitioners as you guys come through. And I don't even know if I have this person's name down, as they've been referenced 3 times. The woman who is in charge of seeing to petitioners in this building is going to approach the party and say, "Welcome, citizens, to the Ethics Council. Is there anything I can assist you with?"
I need to speak with Councilwoman Keeve.
She is going to nod and say, the councilmen are preparing for an emergency session as the prince, or as the magnate was found dead yesterday.
Yeah, he knows.
I'm quite aware.
This may help their decision-making process. If we can please speak with her real quick.
She nods and brings you, and it's going to take you guys upstairs. She leads you to the same room where you guys talked to Typhus before. And the way these council rooms are set up is each council kind of has a dedicated set of offices with a connected lobby. And inside of this one, there are a series of 8 doors in this lobby. She is going to go to a closed wooden one and knock on it and say, "Councilwoman Keeve, you have visitors about today's summit." The door opens, and she is going to step out. She has long black hair, and while it is in the middle of winter, she is dressed aristocratically, preparing for the council session, in an elegantly tailored dress made of black and dark magenta fabrics. Councilwoman Keeve looks over the party and has a small smile on her face and says, "I recognize you guys. You came to you came to congratulate Typhus when he was promoted to the High Council."
Indeed.
She nods and says, "I don't deal with the prince or anything anything tied to the scum that Respis kept inside of Zenith's Rise after you moved here. You can see yourselves out."
Hold on one moment, ma'am. We heard that you had an intimate relation with his previous wife. With the old magnate's previous wife.
She's going to turn and say, "Celia Bertholdt was a dear friend of mine, and everything Respis has done since then has spat on her grave."
Well,
you can understand my disdain for his youngest son and you by association.
Well, we are trying to fix that problem. We believe that her daughter may still be alive.
We know she lives.
Keeve is going to raise an eyebrow and say, "I mourn the passing of my friend and her daughter. Both claimed frostblight."
Well,
So wait, so real quick, just the one. She's only like there was only the one daughter, right, Ariana?
Yes. He had 2 sons and a daughter.
The daughter yet lives.
And Keeve is going to say, "And I suppose you're here to tell me her mother's alive too."
no, she passed away. But she'll be here by this evening, more than likely, or if not, early tomorrow. And we would like for you to meet her, just as proof that she is indeed her daughter.
She's gonna shake her head and say, "I told Celia a winter flower could never bloom in the snow." And she looks again at you guys and says, "And she's alive."
Very much so.
Yes.
She's going to inhale and say, "This technically means the throne goes to her if this is not some charlatan."
We are indeed. That's why we would like someone who knows that family well enough to be able to identify her as such when she is brought to the council.
And she's going to say, "And how do you know she lived?" As far as I'm concerned, the Bertolfs buried her before they moved to the capital. And the same sickness claimed Celia weeks later.
Because, how long? 16, 18 years ago?
19. Or no, 18.
Because 18 years ago, I took that daughter out of this city into the east so she could be safe.
She's gonna say, "On whose authority?"
The Sage Elfin Doors.
Woo! She's going to say, "That kooky old man?"
You can see the bind I'm in when it comes to verifying these claims.
She's going to look at the rest of the party and say, "I'll have no word with smugglers, but When Ariana arrives in the city, send her to my quarters. I would very much like to see if this is someone parading around with my friend's daughter's name, or if it is her. I've waited a long time to. I've waited a long time for so many things. I want to share with her. You guys also know too. You never told her.
Eliana's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I realized that.
Oh, she used Ariana's name.
Yep.
So, remind me again, you want to meet Miss Skinfield?
She says who?
Ariana.
You said Ariana.
She nods and says, Ariana Bertolf. The daughter...
Ariana Grande.
The daughter of Celia.
Yeah. She's been using the family...
I wasn't sure if the whole name was fake or not.
Yeah, I mean, technically it's not fake. It's just she
the
adopted...
last name because of the adoption, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if all of it was an assumed identity.
She shakes her head and says, no, she's, and Kiev stops herself and says, we'll have this conversation further, if your claim turns out to be true.
Yes, ma'am. If you'll excuse us, we'll be waiting to meet her when she gets into the city.
She nods, stands up, and actually walks towards the door and opens it for you guys, leading out of this lobby, and looks at Father A as he leaves and says, all things just. That's the way of the Ethics Council.
We'll be seeing you soon.
She nods and says, I count on it. We are gonna end there. We'll pick up next session with Celebris and Lance at the Calkin, or not the Calkin office, at the
KXP.
At the Chantry of Harmony. I wanted to cover a little bit more tonight, but you know, things just kind of got bogged down. Probably my fault for not pushing them along sooner. You guys have Reyna under your protective custody. You found out Kiris is still in town, turned himself over. That was a major event. I guess everything that happened tonight was, even sharing everything that happened previously, was kind of reflexing back on convincing, you know, the party to protect Reyna. Galay too has a small story going on with practice. I'm gonna give you guys experience for that, because that could things can just avalanche in this campaign. It's just what I'm finding out. And then Councilwoman Kiev is willing to hear your guys' claim. That's about halfway through where I wanted to get with her. So I'm going to give you guys...
that was only half? Jesus.
Yeah, I'm going to give you guys minor experience for that one. So 3 times 400 is...
Not enough.
200.
Yeah, and then 200 more is 1,600. Anything else major happen? Oh, I'm gonna give you guys minor experience for joining Makana's training sessions for Kaitrina. She is pushing her harder and harder and harder to become the leader the Kalkin needs in this area.
Sweet.
And I'm trying to think if there's, because I feel like there's something I'm missing. Oh, I want to have a next session. I'm gonna remind myself. Kytrina is really gonna sit down with Barty and be like, "Yo, so I'm kind of out of the loop on this Lorraine situation. Like, what do we do? You're smarter and older than me."
You're old. Figure it out, stupid.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah. So 1,800 for, or I'm sorry, 1,600 for tonight in total.
1,600. Ugh. Can you like just sort of bump that up to 4,650?
Yeah. What? 4,600? No, I'm kidding.
Damn it! You said 1,600. Okay.
Yeah, there are a few things Lance can do to earn the party a bunch of extra experience.
Oh, I bet there is. I just don't know it.
Yeah. Well, you do. Kytrina told you if you handle those werewolves for her, you know, she is incredibly short-staffed.
There's a problem with that. Is I need to talk to what's her name, Nakart. No, Nakart about that actually, because I don't know if Nakart is friends with them, and I don't want to just go out there, slaughter a bunch of wolves, and then Nakart looks at me like, "What the fuck?"
I told
I'm
you.
pretty sure those werewolves are not cool with.
Yeah, like I gotta make sure that Nakart is not cool with those werewolves. Like, sure, go kill them. Like, fucking. All right, let's get it.
Your guys' next session is going to be on the 19th, and I am going to end the broadcast there. Man, I hope tonight had... Oh, it did have sound. Cool.
Why did the last session not?
There's been a few times where it hasn't.
Yeah, well, I muted my microphone too at the start of it, but